Welcome back to another episode of Unbreak Podcast. We got on the docket today. Going to touch on the Lions game on Thanksgiving. Obviously, they had a pretty poor turnout, so we'll dive into that and just talk around some of the things that we saw around that. And then obviously, you got the game that everybody's waiting for. We're finally
Yes,
here. We're about 17 hours out, give or take.
sound about right.
Um, yeah, for the big game. Michigan got Ohio coming to town. Um, for all the marbles essentially with this matchup. So yeah, to kick things off, we'll start off with the Lions and the Packers Thanksgiving Day game. Eli, kick it over to you. What was your thoughts on what you saw just with how things kind of transpired with the Lions on Thursday?
I would say just a letdown. It's kind of the best way to put it. We've kind of been sputtering the last couple of weeks. We needed,
Yeah,
a semi-heroic showing up from the offense versus Chargers a couple weeks ago. And then we wanted to give it away last week as well. And then so I think just maneuvering within that, I think it all kind of come to a halt this week. Short week, just didn't come with our best game plan. Golf looked off. The defense looked pretty pedestrian. Jordan made Jordan Love look like a Pro Bowl type quarterback. Just overall, just a poor performance is my best way to put it. And I'm hoping this is one of the you got to get those out of your system a little bit. You can't fire on all Sundays every week. Um, would have would love to still obviously get one nationally televised game. All of America's watching at that point. You would have loved to show up then, and it's a division game, but not gonna hit the panic button, but definitely just looked bad. They looked almost unenthusiastic to be out there. They're kind of going through the motions. Couple of, as far as I'm concerned, questionable calls. We went for it on fourth, like inside of our 20. Just put our defense in some bad spots. Golf has had a turnover bug like crazy the last what 2.5 games or so. So no, I think overall just a poor performance, and I'm hoping they kind of got it out of their system. Heading into December here.
for sure. Yeah, no, I think I second a lot of things you said there. I mean, I think for me overall, it's just offense been kind of sputtering a little bit the last couple of weeks, and they've been putting. I guess I'll say this how I kind of have seen it kind of transpire. Defense been giving up a lot of yards, but I feel like they've been holding steady given what the situations the offense been putting them in. You had Bears pretty much had us dead to rights as far as just where the score was at. But all them turnovers, these continue to,
Yeah.
the defense continue to like fight. And I think same as yesterday. I mean, hey, I'm looking at the box score right now. It was 20-6 in the first quarter, and the final score ended up being 29-22. Golf, three fumbles. I mean, that old line, they were getting whooped.
Right.
Rashawn Gary, 3 sacks. He had the best of Taylor Decker pretty much all day. I'm putting a lot of this on, Ben Johnson. And I'm saying this too. I apparently jumped the gun, giving Campbell a little too much credit because he pulled a little fast one and had that fake punt when we were only down 9. 2 plays later, they scored a touchdown. I mean, the score was 29-22
Yeah.
to end things. At that point in time, if I'm not mistaken, it was 23-14. So
Hmm.
as bad as they play, I feel like there's still things that we still found ways to get in our own way. Whether it's that fourth down, that fake punt call. I think Ben Johnson, I mean, I just don't think he called a great game, abandoned the run, once
Yeah.
things started to kind of sputter a little bit. And I think he just kind of contributed to the avalanche of just, the offense couldn't stay on the field, and we all know with Goff, it don't take much to start getting him off
Yeah.
his game. He was I mean, I saw one time he was taken down, he got all twisted up and everything. And I'm just sitting here, it's like mid fourth quarter. I'm just sitting here waiting for him to get hurt and basically blow
Yeah.
our whole season. Like that's really what this kind of turned into. They just kicked our ass. Pretty much the same way we did them when we went out into Green Bay. So they were
Very true.
chopping it, looking their chops. We got Jack Harlow over here halftime, everybody feeling good. It's Thanksgiving, first time being 8-2 in like 33 years. I think we just got it, got it handed, obviously, got our asses handed to us. Just weren't ready to play at all.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna mention something about golf. You said golf. We praised him on. We obviously, you go back in the history of this podcast, we were ready to throw him away for nothing a couple of years ago, and obviously think luckily we did not do that. But the play that he's had in the month of November cannot happen.
No.
That's not a playoff team with him playing that way. We need him to play at the level he was to make up for some of the other deficits that we have had. And so I just want to say that, but also just you brought up Gary getting to the quarterback. Obviously, we love to see Gary get busy. Hopefully, not too much versus us, just being
Right.
in our circumstances here. But Golf when you start to knock him down, he gets on his ass a lot. He gets happy feet. He like gets. I don't want to. I'm not a quarterback guru, but to me, it looks like he gets happy feet. Gets off his mechanics a little bit. The ball
Mm-hmm.
starts fluttering around, hitting the dirt, sailing high.
Oh, yeah, like 3-4 passes that would have changed the whole.
Who he sailed it on? I want to say Laporta maybe over the middle.
I think
Just
Laporta twice, and he
yep,
sailed
and
Amon Ra on a big one on like a third
yep.
down.
Mm-hmm. So he just gets that poor mechanics when you start to hit him, get in his face, and it falls apart. He goes from above average to pretty good to bottom of the barrel quarterback very quickly. And that's something we hadn't seen of him a lot over the last call it year, and it seemed to pop up a lot more. And it's a bit frightening when when considering that a couple of weeks ago people were talking about giving him 180 million, 200 million, and then this happens just a few short weeks later. So
yeah, it's tough, and it's poor timing. Just kind of even how the schedules, kind of starting to fall. To where
the Vikings
playing
those last two games.
You playing the way you did last week. You kind of gave the Bears life. They kind of feel like they can beat you. They just didn't do the right things to do it. Now you got to go see them in Detroit next, or you got to go see them in Chicago next week. You split it with the Packers. But let's be like, no, I just say this, like it's the NFL, and everybody's showing up to play. Like nobody's gonna lay down. It's any given Sunday. Like you said, this is just a letdown. But like, they playing for pride too, and I think they won 3 out of the last 4, and he looked way, Jordan Love looked way different, than he did prior. So it's just, it's poor timing, like you said. It's the next game will be in December. You just hope that they can take this little mini bye week, correct some things on offense. We really just got to touch on the offense. Didn't really touch on the defense. And the pass rush is just glaring, to the point to where Jacobs is getting, picked on. But yeah, he's got to clean that up. He got to take this time for the defense. I'm not going to sit here and be trying to ask for Aaron Glenn's head like every other person was before halftime. I said I do feel like, we're getting more of like a bend but don't break. It's not as stifling as it was, weeks like 1 through 7. Obviously got to fix some things on that side of it, but I feel like the defense is holding their own at least the last couple of weeks. Given there's been 7 turnovers that the offense has given up in the last couple of games. So you want to throw this one in the trash, take it for what it is, and just come out get ready for Chicago this coming week.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I don't want to obviously touch on this too much, but it's one of those things where we talk about how favorable the schedule looked.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and it did seem way more favorable, call it 2 weeks ago. But now
something quick can change like that.
Yeah, having that many division games left in that back half of that bucket could come back to bite you if you're going to start dropping ones that you have no business dropping. And there's teams in your division assigning NASA scientists off the practice squad from other teams, and he's starting out whatever he is, 3-2 or whatever. And so it's a lot can happen in the drop of time. So you gotta every week try to swallow up those victories as good as you can. And the hungry hippo mentality as far as just you gotta grab and keep going, because anything can happen. Like you said, it was a couple scary moments where it looked like Golf was a little ginger on getting up, or maybe it's possible. And the season's over if that happens. Not that Teddy Bridgewater is completely pedestrian, but it would take a couple of weeks for him to get up to speed, and he obviously is not Golf. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think one other thing too is just really from like a defense standpoint. It's kind of crazy how Hutch is being played right now. He's getting chipped by a tight end, and then they're just washing him out with a tackle and a running back because there is no
Nobody else.
pressure from the inside. Lee McNeil, he's throwing his arms up every other play because he's trying to get holding calls. Like, you're not Aaron Donald, you're not Chris Jones. You're not
Yeah.
you're not going to get these calls the way that you're trying to get them. So it's just one of those things where, like I said, yeah, going to the bye, get things dialed up. But I don't know if it's a coaching thing, what? Because this defense prior to, what from the run they went on the last year, that first game against the Giants, all the way up until, I don't know if he needs to kind of simplify things again. I know that was something that they're big on, to kind of change things last year. But yeah, it's tough watching, Jerry Jacobs get picked on. We know too, we got Gardner Johnson not playing. We never saw, you only saw Emmanuel Mosley for like 3 plays. So,
Right.
in a tough spot right now, but we've seen this team, be dominant when they had worse injury issues.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Yep. And I'll say this too. We literally watched the Jets beat the Eagles. We saw the Broncos beat the Chiefs. We've seen Minnesota went and got San Fran. So like I think that's one thing I just want to kind of say too is like I'm not hitting the panic button or anything, but we gotta like really this is like gotta right the ship. We got lucky, we stole one last week that we probably didn't deserve. Finally got caught the hand in the cookie jar this week. Now it's time to set things back straight.
I agree. And this will be the last point I make about this. We mentioned when we did make a move at the trade deadline of
Yeah.
how now is not the time to be complacent and how everybody else is going to get people. And I'm sitting up watching the 49ers game last night. I'm blanking on a guy's name, the guy they traded for.
Chase Young, yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah,
15
Chase Young.
sacks
And
since they
yes,
got him.
yes. And I don't think that's a coincidence that you go and get one of the best, top 10 pass rushers in the league, drop them on a D line of a top 5 D line in the league, and it makes a difference. We had a bottom D line and thought ours was good enough. They had one of the better D lines and went in and got it leveled up. So I think it's one of those things where
rich get richer.
Yeah, rich get richer, but also they sought to get richer. We thought we were doing fine. We were complacent. And that's that could be a rookie mistake as far as we haven't been in a predicament as far as preparing for the playoffs type of deal. And maybe they had a year or two before seeing when it could happen. But
probably underestimated the schedule, something like I think.
Yeah, yep. They just thought we were good enough, and if we had Chase Young on there, they would not be able to defend Hutch like they do or block against us like they have been. You would be picking. Okay, you do it to Hutch if you want, and then Chase is getting 3 sacks a game. You do it to Chase if you want, and then Hutch is getting 3 sacks a game. So I think that it would have leveled us up to something special. But it's obviously not the end of the road, but it's one of those. You begin to question some of those decisions if we drop too many more of these heading forward, and San Fran's on the upward swing still.
Yeah, you hope to, James Houston, I think, maybe the next like 2-3 weeks he might be back. Granted, that's not tomorrow, but hopefully that's something we can can also help on that side of things. But they need to, some of these need some more juice on that other side. Like it's either the point people, they're criticizing Hutch, and I'm like, I don't even know if you're watching what's happening to him. This is like he's the only threat on that D line across the board, at least up to this point. So yeah, we'll see what they they do, and obviously as we preview them playing the Bears again in Chicago next week. So yeah, we're gonna turn the page to really the only finally here. We talked about it before we hop on here. This is the game for all the marbles, for all the Tostitos, whatever you call it. This is the Big Ten championship. It's here, man. So we, go ahead and just toss it over to you. And just kind of kick things off, and just see your thoughts, some of the keys to victory, what we need to do to come out with a W tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously, I'm ready for this. I have been damn near since we played them last year. I think when we joked about not bringing it up as much, but I think that Ohio hasn't beat Michigan. Clock is up to damn near 1,500 days at this point. And I think you go ahead and win this one, they will be approaching 1,800 before we come around next year. So this is one of the ones where I think it could be a changing of the tide. It'd be a one where we didn't play them during COVID, so that'd be a whole entire class of people that haven't beat Michigan or a whole
Mhm.
entire class of people for us that has beat Ohio. I think it it would be just such reassuring for that to happen, reassuring for the team. They've been all the shit and smut that's been put on our name throughout the season, dating back to when. I mean, the little hamburger thing seems like it was a joke then, but it seems like a complete joke now compared to what has been accused of recently. Uh, so I mean,
Yes.
Harbaugh missed total of 6 games this year. This will be the 6th game he missed, and like you said, just kind of is this for all of it. This is for bragging rights, Big Ten championship bound, uh, playoff bound. I think it's one of those things where this is literally what every player, whether it's Corum, Sanders Steele, uh, Roman Wilson, who you name them, this is all why they came back.
Mhm.
Was to put another victory on another W against Ohio, win a Big Ten championship again for the 3rd year in a row, and continue to march on to a playoff victory. I think this is you and just one more thing I'll say just regarding Blake Corum. I seen that's another player that came back. Could have went pro. But I seen Blake Corum. He said that I think he only had, I don't want to lie on it, but like 5 or 7 carries versus Ohio. His
He missed last year.
Yeah,
He was
yep, and he
banged up
missed last year. And
scores.
so he's basically saying, I never really played against these boys. And he was talking about how glad he is to be healthy, how glad he is to just have the opportunity to be at home. Last
Mhm.
home game for seniors.
His
Uh,
birthday.
Versus Ohio, yeah. So I mean, if you ever gonna pull out a 200 yard 25 carry game, you got one more in your back pocket. This be the one to want to go ahead and pull it out for us. But
Yeah.
no, I'm ecstatic. I'm ready for it. I mean, and I'm not gonna. I can let you get into a little more of the details, and then we'll go back and forth on it. But I mean, it all comes down to controlling the line of scrimmage and slowing down Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I'm right there with you on a lot of that. And I think for me, it's just going to be that line of scrimmage. I think this is the defense. We had to ride them against Penn State. To be able to come out of there successfully. And I feel like this is one of them games where they got to be from the jump. I'm always Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Chris Jenkins. They got to be making it really difficult.
yeah,
For that offensive line. The environment's going to be crazy. It's going to be hostile. Last time they were here, 2021 with Stroud, they had 5 false starts. We got to get McCord. I think with him, it's going to be just him and Harrison. They got that chemistry, so it's going to be one of the things where we got to try to just do it the best we can to just limit that connection, and then also just making sure we clamping up everybody else.
yeah,
I think one other big thing too is just like on our side we got Blake Corum. In my opinion, the best running back in this game. This is his first really getting opportunity to get like a real taste at it. They didn't have TreVeyon Henderson last year. I mean, I'll be 100. He's a real deal at running back. So
mm,
that's just another guy we gotta make sure to get on the ground. Do whatever we can to get them as one dimensional, whether it's ground, whether it's taking away the run or the pass, whatever that looks like. We just got to make sure to do whatever we can to get them to play with their opposite hand essentially, and get pressure on them. And I think if the defense, I think they're gonna be the ones kind of leading the charge, especially with Harbaugh, not being out. I think they're gonna have to be the ones that have to really set the tone. And I'm just looking forward to see how they show up.
no, I agree with you on the defense setting the tone. I think that's how you go back to look at the blueprint. Defense have held their own night and day from the last 2 years, from previous 3 or 4 years. So I think just they have to come up strong. And I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't even think we've. I mean, I definitely have gotten turnovers, but I really think the defense has just played good defense for them over the last couple of years. Just they haven't. It hasn't been
Got a
no
couple picks,
yeah,
but
a couple of picks, but nothing like
sacks.
outrageous. Yeah,
Right.
just getting them off the field when we need to get them off the field, making that
No
timely.
breaks.
Yeah, yep. I'm thinking of. I can't think of their tight end's name, but it was Sanders Steele on their tight end last year in the end zone. Just good plays like that. It's nothing.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything that maybe make a highlight reel. It's just good, sound defense, and that's what I look forward to as well. That defensive line is better than their offensive line. And I watched Ohio State play probably three or four games this year.
Mhm.
And I have not been overly impressed. That's not something that I'm, I set up, we were all texting about it. They ended up beating them bad, a little sound, but Maryland was in that game first half, much more than they were in it versus us.
On the road.
Um, they were looking good. And then Ohio State obviously came back. Notre Dame seemed to fall off the face of the earth. They weren't that top five team that they played then. They settled into just an okay team. Uh, so I look forward to us just going there and being disruptive. That defensive line, I
Mhm.
think we can, like you said, with the crowd noise, the atmosphere. I think we go ahead and get that quarterback off his mark, hit him a little bit. I think he has a lot to prove. He hasn't played in an atmosphere like this. He hasn't played against a defense like this. I
Yeah.
think he might be a little big eyed when it gets in there. Like I'd say right now, he's probably sitting around with his stomach a little sore right now, just thinking about what he has to go do tomorrow, the atmosphere, and then just to try to turn the page. JJ, we need you to show back up. He's looked
Yep.
a little off the mark the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you're looking ahead forward to this game or whether we've only ran 20 plays, unique plays, trying to like hold it all in for this game. But um, I think I heard the announcer say it last game. So the second, who did we play before Penn State? Uh,
Purdue.
Purdue. Second half versus Purdue, he had like 7 passes. He had 8 passes versus Penn State. Um, and then he was obviously not playing the greatest versus Maryland. So they were saying how he hasn't been really on his groove most of the month.
Mhm.
He's made some good plays, had some moments, but whether we're beating the shit out of somebody and we pull him, or whether he just doesn't have it, um, like the Maryland game, or whether we just say, right, we're going to do the ground and pound versus Penn State. For whatever reason, he hasn't had the uh, just the rock in his hand as much as he has the last first half of the season. So I
Yeah.
still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten, and I'm just looking forward to him coming out and making his name in this one. Blake Donovan Edwards finally got busy the last couple of weeks. I'm thinking he's he wants to make a name for himself. The boys I know they're going to be ready to show up, and I just
Yeah.
love that it's at home, and I'm mulling over what I think this game is going to look like. I think at Ohio State, Notre Dame game, real slugfest, low
Yeah.
scoring. That Penn State, Ohio State game in the mid 20s. Our Penn State game, 24-17 or something like that, or 26-17, something. Yeah, so real, not high flying, not high scoring. So I'm wanting to lean more towards that, but I also think you don't know what to expect when it comes to rivalries.
Mhm.
You know, teams do trick plays, just big plays, momentum plays, kick returns, knock on wood for us, whatever. Things like that happen in these type of games that make teams have to play point catch up, or they want to do some things out of the ordinary. Uh, and that's so I'm really on the fence about what this type of game is going to be. But I feel confident in our boys, and I know we can go and win whatever type of game there is. If it has to be a 14-10, if you told me the score is 14-10, I would sound like that sounds like a game we would have won. If you told me it's 38-30, I still think we can win. I think we have a very unique team that can
Yeah.
go out there and play how you need to play.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely just want to touch on JJ a little bit just because that's been a big talking point to where I think, I don't know, it's kind of funny to where I feel like they're saying that we might have been trying, been hiding JJ this entire time. One thing, he's a little banged up. Obviously, he got another week to get a little bit more healthier. Watch his press conference, said he felt a lot better. And I agree with you. I do feel like I personally feel like it was just a very vanilla, you know, to the point to where, yeah, I mean, it might have threw him off a little bit just in that Maryland game from a rhythm standpoint, especially this is the way we took our foot off the gas after going up 23-3. Um, but Wilson was also out. They say he should be good to go, be able to play tomorrow. We literally had a starting left tackle, just left him at home to just rest and heal up. He'll be back tomorrow. Hinton got hurt against Maryland, but he'll be able to play. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be at home. They're going to have. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of heavy packages. Just protecting him, setting him up for success, and I do expect that play action. I
Yes.
think that's where he'll just like you said he's doing earlier in the year, that play action. He start dance with that line of scrimmage and just the timely back breaking third and long plays just executing on those, just keeping them drives alive like he was earlier this season.
That's the key to it. I don't
Yep.
care whether that's the key. I don't care whether they want JJ to go out there and throw 50 times or whether we plan on running 50 times. JJ is going to need to hit that 3rd and 11 when we need it. JJ is going to have to step back and maybe put the wheels on a 3rd and 6 and just hit. They said this is a game where you need all that to come out of the bag. No, there's no more holding back. You got to swing for the fences on all of this.
Yep.
And no, so I think that was a great point. You brought up the heavy package. I think that's exactly what we're going to try to do. I think we are going to ground and pound, establish the run. I think a couple of things and they need to prove it, but we're saying, hey, you all a bunch of pretty boys. We found a recipe to beat y'all. It's pound the rock for 200 yards, and then you guys panic. It's just relentless pressure. And especially with them, they get off the mark a little bit, 3 and out. They 10-0 or something. They're the type of team that just will abandon the run, just start passing. They're the type of team that will, they're not used to being in that predicament. So you go and jump out on them. On top of it, that's exactly where we need it to be. Because then our defensive line can start teeing off. They're gonna start forcing the ball to Marvin Harrison. Maybe get a turnover or two. That's the kind of recipe. But it all starts with that line of scrimmage. And I'm kind of ashamed. I didn't even realize we were down left tackle last week. I knew it looked bad. It was getting at times just getting blown up.
Yeah.
But and even Roman Wilson, he got banged up, and they pulled him. They pulled him in a heartbeat. He was over there in a t-shirt next series. Yeah, I think we're definitely preparing for this week, and we have been since last year. So I mean, this is what you live for a Michigan fan to be. It's been talk of the town around here with my dad, my brothers, everybody, even state fans kind of want to talk to me about it. So it's the talk of the town, and it's one of the things where they love to hate. They love to hate, but I feel good about it, and even I think people know the type of team we have, and I believe in the type of team we have, and they just need to show up. We are the better team. It's a matter of making sure that we're making the right calls from Sharon Moore. Just not doing too much, not doing too little.
Right.
And we also don't want him to try to be Harbaugh, but it's one of those things where you gotta biggest moment in his life. He fuck around and win this. I mean, I think you can pretty much guarantee him a head coaching job next year somewhere. He's shown that that'd be 2 top 10 wins in your belt in the first 3 head starts. So, so I think he has a lot on him. JJ has a lot on him. The whole team does. And I think, I don't know who it was, said this week, if you lose, it's all for nothing. The season was for nothing. I think it's sad to say, but it's the truth. That's what it is. I will be twice as mad driving back to my house from my parents' house on Saturday if we lose than if we win. It will put a damper on my week, put a damper on this football season. And if it does that for me, a civilian who ain't never suited up in amazing blue, I know for them boys on the field it'd be 150 times as bad. So, but I really truly I feel good about this. I feel like we are the better team and fuck around dead. So
yeah. Yeah, and that's gonna be one thing I was going to touch on is like the pressure standpoint. Obviously, they want his head just off of 2 games. The last couple of years. I don't know about you. I've been hearing just Texas A&M rumors. There's a lot of things. Obviously, with everything that's been just transpiring this season. I'm right there with you. I do just feel like, we got the senior leadership. If you want to, I think the position battle. I think we win, everything except for receiver. Just from all levels, just all the matchups throughout the game. I do feel like it's gonna be one of those things where, like I said earlier, I feel great if the defense can kind of come out, just make him uncomfortable early. Get McCord off his spot, and that offense we just can control that clock. Put together some solid drives, and just. It'll come down to it. Just lean on our defense. Kick the ball back to them and make them, come down the field to win that position battle. And I think we're built, for games like this. It's gonna be a nice, chill, 30 something degrees. And that's perfect run the ball weather. So it's gonna be a real real good match. Right there with you. I'm feeling really good about it too. So
Yeah. So let me ask you this a little strategic. How do we play Will Johnson? Question A, or how give
Marvin
my answer.
Harrison.
How do we play Marvin Harrison?
Yeah,
And how would you play? Like, how do you think we're gonna do it, and how would you do it?
yeah. Just have him follow, man. He pretty much took him away last year. If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken. He got loose for a touchdown, I think to make it like 20-17 or something like that before the half, but they put him over there and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he neutralized them for the most part the rest of the game. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. We're just going to have guys, Josh Wallace, Sam Still, Morion Walker, Sam, Rob Moore, Makari Page. It's like
yeah. So you
you got
would,
that third of the field. And I think everybody else got to make sure all those other weapons are just kept at bay.
yeah. No, I agree. I think I kind of agree with you on that. I like the Will Johnson's following him around. Kind of being his mirror, his shadow, with a
Mm-hmm.
safety over the top. I think. I don't remember exactly what we held him to last year, but I feel very confident if we do the same thing again, he probably will win. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna have to have a game for the ages for him to pull it off. I don't think he's gonna get it done with 5 for 80 and a touchdown or something. I think he's gonna have to,
I
put
mean,
up
it
some
took
Calvin Johnson type numbers to get it done versus.
it took like 150 and 2 touchdowns against Penn State. So like
Yeah,
it's
right.
it's gonna be astronomical just given, the talent at quarterback, just calling it what it is. And I'm just curious, I just pulled up the box score real quick, but I do feel like
I
from
think we
last year,
neutralized him for the most part pretty good.
I mean, he was 7 for 120 in the touchdown.
Yeah.
That
Which is going off, but for him, you can live with that. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, a lot of that was 42-yard touchdown. So we can just kind of keep him at bay. A lot of these other, I mean, even Mecca Ibuka had more. He had 125. So, and you even saw even when they played 2021. I mean, I think every one of them receivers had over 100.
Yeah.
You just gotta like
They were
keep
just empty
it.
calories. They were just empty calories. They weren't
Yeah.
doing nothing. And
Yep.
agree. And that's another thing. You down in the end zone, you start cracking down, that field shortens. Get them field goals out of there. That's the key to success. They want to put them points up.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree. But hey, man, it's for, like you said, for all the marbles, and we like you said, we up to what 16 hours before kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
It's 30 degrees. Uh, maybe the heavens open up for us again, let some snow showers in. But yeah, no, bro, it's this is what we do it for, man. This is
For
what it's
sure.
all about. What's it, 2-3? Uh, biggest game of the year.
Yep.
I know we kind of debated it. You're probably right about it, but I think whoever wins this has a very strong, arguable chance to go to number one,
Yeah.
uh, and kind of play those seeds of where trying to, I don't know. I just like it, and I also could imagine. Obviously we can't get too much ahead of ourselves, but I love to see how whoever the loser of this is, if they're still going to try to hang them around in the playoff, or they're going to kick them out
Yeah.
of the seven. And but I don't even want to be in that conversation. I know if we win this, take care of business, we're playoff bound. So
100%.
yeah,
100%. Yeah. Core prediction. I'll kick it off. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I think it's gonna be a nice physical slugfest. I think we're gonna end up just halftime, just kind of starting after halftime, starting to slowly pull away. I'm gonna say score will be a 30-20 Michigan.
I like that. 30-20. We were in the same ballpark. 28-17, 28-20, somewhere in there. I think we'll get that. Quarterback could give us the ball a couple of times with a fumble, interception and whatnot. I think we'll get the ball a couple of times, and I think after that we'll just play the ground and pound game. Keep our running backs. Running backs are fresh. Them bad boys probably don't got 300 carries between two of them.
Yeah.
So
I know the clip now.
yeah, no, Grant said put the switch on. Grant said put the switch. Yeah.
I'm for real. Put back kick return. Do whatever we need to do to. Hey, it is that time
Hey,
of year.
if they if I see Diamond Evers roll off a punt return, I'm going to ape shit.
Yeah, hey man, Heisman won't be. Desmond Howard incoming. Charles, yeah, that type of play might be made tomorrow. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. Be back with y'all next week to touch on the recap.
Yes, sir.
Anything
So
else for
Blue,
the people?
no, I'm good, man. I'm ready. I'm just looking forward to this game. And yeah, we'll be back at you next week. Hopefully a couple shorts of some interceptions to people getting some wood laid on them. So we'll see. Yeah. All right, bro.
Next time.
Peace.